Hey gang, Mark Sweeney here with the K team, Krista and Kirsten. If you've tuned in before, you know who these two are, my sidekicks. They keep me coming to work every day. These are the two greatest young dentists that I've been around in 40 years since I was a young dentist. Anyway, if you've tuned in before, you know a little bit about Wisdom Wednesday. If you tuned in last week, you know that I was over the pond and did the Wisdom Wednesday from in front of the Palace of Versailles. So if you missed that, go back. It's in the archives. It's on our Facebook channel or on YouTube channel, Austin Dental Spa, and you can catch a little bit of French. Wisdom Wednesday French style. But now I'm back, and I talked last week about the value of taking breaks, taking vacations, going somewhere that gets you out of your comfort zone. And it's all true. There's actually research that's been done on that. This week, we're back to reality. We're back to Adventurous April. We have a theme every month, and so today is going to be no different. We're going to talk about places in the world, 8 of them specifically, 7 or 8?
5.
5. Oh, I was close. 5 places in the world that are called blue zones, where people live longer and happier lives. But before we get to that, we got a little housekeeping. The American Statesman has their Community Choice Awards. They used to call it Best Of, but that offended somebody. And so, because we kept winning, mainly because we're best cosmetic dentist for like 5 years running that they've been doing the contest. You go online on the American Statesman website, it's got Community Choice Awards, because that's what they've changed the name to now. But you can vote every day and for about 3 or 4 more days, and then that round of voting stops, and they condense it down to the top 3 in about 150 categories, from best breakfast taco to best late night spot to best dental office. We're in 2 categories, best dentist and best cosmetic dental practice. The 3 of us are all combined in that. We would love and appreciate your vote. So go to statesman.com/community awards, or community choice, I think is what it is. So with that said, let's get back to the important stuff. Kirsten, tell us, what are the 5 cities?
The 5 cities that are considered blue zones that came out on top were Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Icaria, Greece, and Loma Linda, California.
Wow, that's quite a diverse geographic spread across the U.S. What could these places possibly have in common? Well, these 2 brothers did a documentary on it that's on Netflix, from what I understand, called The Blue Zones. And they found 9 characteristics that every one of these communities, even though they were quite diversely spread across the world, all of them had 9 similarities. So we're going to share those with you today in the hopes that you have a longer, healthier life. So start us off, Krista.
All right. Number 1, the blue zone communities are built for movement. In America, there has been a decline in biking and walking cities, but in these 5 cities that we previously listed, it was the norm. People loved to just walk outside of their house and bike and walk to work and to friends gathering.
I bet Uber Eats hates these cities.
Yeah, you're right. So, a tip, get moving, get going, get on your bike. Number 2, every person has a strong sense of purpose. The authors found that every person could articulate what they contribute to their community. So another tip is identify your own sense of purpose within your community.
Awesome. So get moving and find a sense of purpose. Get involved in your community. Number 3, you're not going to like this one. Every one of these 5 communities the people ate a mostly plant-based diet. They got their proteins and stuff from plants, and they very rarely ate meat, less than once a week. And when they did eat meat, they ate 4 ounces, which is about the size of a deck of cards. So they very rarely ate red meat, and when they did, it was in very small quantities. So sorry about that one, but that's true. They also, kind of hand to hand with that, they ate fewer calories across all 5 of these communities. The people didn't eat as much. They moved around more, but they did not eat as many calories at one sitting as we tend to do in the United States and in the cities that are not considered so healthy. Number 5, you're going to really like.
Number 5 is the best one. They drink red wine in the blue zones.
Woohoo!
Red wine is filled with antioxidants, and it's healthy for your heart. So go ahead and drink that glass of red wine.
These 2 brothers that did this documentary said that they interviewed a woman in one of the communities that was 106 years old, and she was having a glass of red wine while they were interviewing her, and they said it never leaves the table. So, so they like their red wine because of those antioxidant properties. So, number 6, people in these communities have a community-wide ability to lower their stress levels. They would find ways to just kind of take it easy, whether they meditated out in the parks or whether they just had a general vibe around the city of lowering the stress level. That was an interesting one for me. What was number 7?
They are all faith-based communities. So each of them had a sense with a spirit or a God, and they were able to bond over that.
Yeah, not necessarily all specifically religious. I know that Loma Linda, California, which was the only American city on the list, is everybody there is Seventh-day Adventists, and so they all tend to be in that same spiritual realm, and they have vegetarian diets, they don't eat meat, and they practice their religion very seriously. So that's the only American city that made the list.
Mm-hmm. Number 8 is that they put their families first. So isolation is an indicator of stress and disease, so people have strong connections with their family, indicates they live longer.
Awesome. And what's number 9?
Number 9.
Call a friend.
Yes. Call a friend. I called you guys last night. It means a lot.
Yeah. These communities all had networks where nobody got left alone. People that tried to isolate themselves, they almost would not let them. And in these communities, people are always checking on each other. They're going out for walks. I saw that in Paris last week. It's too big, 12 million people. It isn't going to make a list like this because there's a lot of meat being consumed there, a lot of red wine being consumed there, that's for sure. But there were people out walking and talking in the neighborhoods that were kind of out away from the big city part. Neighbors all knew each other, it looked like. To me, what do I know? I was there for a week. I didn't know anybody. I did by the time I left, because I found the people were very friendly out in the locals' neighborhoods. They hang out in the bistros together, like in Ireland, they hang out in the local pub. They don't need the news, the internet, because they all know each other's business. So it's got its pros and cons. But anyway, those are the 9 things. So what's my health tip for the week? Well, it's pretty easy to segue from that. Create your own blue zone. You can do that right here in Austin. Even though we weren't on the list, we still get voted or picked one of the best places to live in the United States, despite the real estate prices. And so you can create your own blue zone. Take these 9 things and intentionally practice to lower the stress level in your life, eat a little better, and most importantly,
drink that red wine, baby.
We're heading over to Chez Z right now to have a glass of red wine and extend our life expectancies. So
right.
See you next week for another episode of Wisdom Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in today.